From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your afternoon update.
Hey folks, good afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed your Saturday so far. The weather is cooperating for our day, right? We got those mid to even upper 80s at times, the warmest day of the last few, certainly. Notice though, as we head through the evening, those rain chances start to tick up. It's going to be overnight tonight where we really see those chances get up to 90%, even 100%. I think a lot of us are going to see rain, right? Let's walk through it. Futurecast next 24 hours paints the picture pretty well. Winds out of the south, that's what's keeping us warm and relatively more humid compared to the last several days, right? That moisture flowing into the area. After sunset, well, check that out. Pretty robust line of storms coming on through here. Winds stay out of the south as it moves through. I would call the time frame about 11 to 1 as the bulk of the heavy storms move through. This pushes through in the early morning. By the time we're heading through sunrise, I would say most of the heavy rain is out here. Still some stray showers behind it as those winds shift out of the west and northwest at maybe up to 15, 20 miles an hour. To be a pretty gusty day tomorrow, but especially the second half of tomorrow looks pretty good. Fall-like conditions widespread. This is actually a pretty substantial front, one of the more substantial we've seen so far this fall. So we're going to see that taste of fall after this comes through. But of course, that's going to be after it comes through, right? First, we got to get past it here. And here's what we're watching, right? First things first, let's talk about the tornado threat. It's very minimal, right? I don't want anybody to think we're having this sort of tornado outbreak type day. In fact, the highest chances of tornadoes are well off to our northwest, and even still, that's a very minimal threat. So we're not talking any major threat there, but a brief tornado cannot be ruled out. It never can in these severe line type situations, right? Where we could maybe see some isolated gusts up to 50, 60 miles an hour. And if you get that surge just right, mixed with an updraft, you could see a brief tornado. But again, that's not a major threat, but we'll be keeping a very close eye on things here through tonight, just in case. You know, that's our commitment to you. Hail, very minimal threat, right, too. We're going to be seeing isolated up to Ps maybe, but the updrafts and supercells are more favorable for hail, and we're just not seeing supercells here through tonight. This is more of a line, in fact, somewhat of a weakening line as it comes on through our area. Maybe some localized street flooding, especially in the western portions of, say, southern middle Tennessee. We're talking Savannah, Wayne County, maybe portions out towards Cherokee, because that's where we sort of have that drought building, right, where we have a little bit less of the moisture content to absorb it too quickly. So we could see a little bit of that, but I don't think that's the main threat. Again, isolated gusts, 50, 60 miles an hour here are what we're going to be watching here. But notice through tomorrow, much cooler, right? That's that fall trend coming back in, upper 60s, maybe near 70 at times. Very nice trend if you're kind of wanting those cooler temperatures, because the next 7 days we sustain it a little mild, right? We're going to be pretty good out there though. Look at those upper 60s, lower 70s. Look at those lows too. As we head through the midweek, we're going to be talking lower 40s and very likely some upper 30s in some of the cooler spots there. So we are certainly seeing autumn settle back in here. Pretty good work week as well. Of course, as the rain is ending here through tomorrow morning, right after that storm moves through late tonight and early tomorrow morning, we have a pretty good stretch of weather. A secondary cold front comes through Tuesday. You'll notice the effects Wednesday. Maybe a stray shower there. We'll watch that. Not expecting major impacts there. Next weekend, we're seeing an active pattern. I'll discuss that more later. And of course, we'll all discuss it as we get closer and closer to it here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. But at least after this initial batch of heavy storms tonight, we've got a pretty good stretch of weather coming up.